Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, I just wanted to say I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day weekend. Whether you spent it celebrating, remembering someone you miss, or just enjoying a quiet weekend with the family, I hope it treated you well. Let's talk about one of the biggest obsessions in cigar culture, the perfect burn. You touch up one side, then the other side starts running. Now you're rotating the cigar every 30 seconds like it's on a rotisserie. And somewhere along the way, you stop enjoying the cigar. A lot of cigar smokers have been taught that a perfect razor-straight burn is the goal. If the burn line gets wavy, uneven, or slightly crooked, panic sets in. But here's the truth. Most uneven burns are completely harmless. And sometimes, obsessing over the burn actually makes the cigar taste worse. Today, we're rethinking one of the biggest visual obsessions in cigar culture. The idea that every cigar needs a perfect burn. This is Rethinking Cigars, the series where we separate cigar myth from cigar mechanics. And today, we're talking about uneven burns, touch-ups, canoeing, and when a cigar actually has a real combustion problem. Part of this comes from aesthetics. A perfectly straight burn line looks satisfying. It photographs well and feels premium. And to be fair, a well-constructed cigar usually burns fairly even under normal conditions. But somewhere along the way, cigar smokers started treating minor variations like a defect. You'll see someone with a tiny wave in the wrapper reaching for the torch immediately. Meanwhile, the cigar still tastes great, the draw is perfect, and smoke reduction is fine. Nothing is actually wrong, because cigars are organic products. Different parts of the leaf burn at different rates. Wrapper veins burn differently. Humidity shifts combustion speed. Airflow changes while you smoke. Even your smoking rhythm changes how the cherry behaves. A cigar is not a machine-made fuel rod designed for perfect symmetry. It's layered tobacco leaves, combusting dynamically in real time. A slightly uneven burn is normal. In fact, if you smoke outdoors regularly, a perfectly straight burn almost becomes unrealistic. Wind alone can tilt combustion to one side within minutes. Here's the important distinction. A cosmetic burn issue is not the same thing as a flavor problem. If the cigar still draws properly, produces smoke normally, tastes balanced, and corrects itself naturally after a few draws, then you probably don't need to do anything. This is the part many newer smokers miss. Cigars naturally self-correct more often than people realize. A small wave in the burn line can even itself out just from normal smoking rhythm, but constant touch-ups interrupt combustion. Every time you hit the cigar with a torch, you spike combustion temperature, you char fresh tobacco rapidly, and you temporarily alter the flavor profile. That harshness people blame on the cigar itself. Sometimes it came from overcorrecting the burn every 2 minutes, and ironically, many touch-ups create more imbalance than the original issue, especially when one side gets overheated repeatedly. Now instead of a slight cosmetic wave, you've created a genuinely bitter section of tobacco. There are times when burn problems matter. The key is understanding the difference between visually imperfect and functionally problematic. Here's when the burn becomes a real issue. The cigar stops combusting evenly enough to stay lit. If one side consistently dies out while the other side races ahead, airflow becomes unstable. Now you're not getting balanced combustion through the filler. The flavor becomes noticeably distorted. This is where combustion actually affects flavor zones. Inside a cigar, different sections of filler are contributing different flavors at different times. When combustion becomes heavily uneven, some tobacco is underburning, some tobacco is overburning, and some areas may not combust fully at all. That changes flavor balance dramatically. Instead of a blended profile, you start getting isolated combustion. One section may become hot and bitter, while another remains muted. This is why severe canoeing often tastes harsh. Not because the burn line looks ugly, but because combustion itself is no longer balanced across the blend. The wrapper begins tunneling or separating badly. If the wrapper stops participating in combustion properly, the cigar can become difficult to stabilize altogether. At that point, a touch-up is completely reasonable. This is where cigar smoking gets interesting. A cigar isn't just burning tobacco, it's a moving combustion system. As the cherry progresses, heat transfers forward, oils warm gradually, moisture evaporates, and different leaves begin contributing at different intensities. That combustion zone creates flavor transition, and combustion consistency absolutely influences how those transitions happen. A cigar that burns slightly uneven may not affect flavor much at all, but a cigar that burns radically unevenly can create overheated sections, underutilized filler, sharp bitterness, or muddy flavor separation. This is especially noticeable in more complex blends. A strongly hero section burning too hot can overpower everything around it. Meanwhile, slower burning seco or viso leaves may barely contribute at all. So yes, combustion does matter, but not because the burn line needs to look Instagram perfect. It matters because combustion controls flavor extraction, and that's the real conversation. Most burn issues can be improved without aggressive torch correction. Usually the better solution is slow your smoking pace, rotate the cigar naturally, let the cigar stabilize, and give combustion time to rebalance itself. Remember, many uneven burns come from overheating. Smoking too fast creates excess heat buildup, especially on one side exposed to airflow. And overhumidified cigars often struggle to combust evenly in the first place. This is another reason many smokers find cigars burn clean around 62 to 65% humidity instead of overly damp storage conditions. Now if the cigar truly starts tunneling or canoeing badly, a small controlled touch-up is fine, but the goal should be correction, not incineration. You helping combustion rebalance, not torching the cigar into submission. A perfect burn line is satisfying, but it's not the definition of a good cigar experience. Some incredible cigars burn a little wavy, while some mediocre cigars burn razor straight. The real question is, how does the cigar taste? Is combustion balanced enough to let the blend express itself properly? That matters far more than visual perfection, because cigar smoking isn't about staring at the burn line, it's about enjoying the cigar. If you enjoyed this episode of Rethinking Cigars, consider subscribing to The Honest Humidor. Next time, we're tackling another cigar myth that gets repeated constantly. The idea that the wrapper determines all of the flavor in a cigar. We'll break down where the belief came from, where it's true, where it isn't, and how wrapper, binder, and filler actually work together to shape the smoking experience. Until then, slow down, enjoy the smoke, and we'll see you next time.